Hello everyone! So I'm finally building a hospital as a part of my Sanctuary build series, and I say finally because I've had a lot of people ask me to build this since my first build in Sanctuary. So here it is! Thanks for your suggestions, and I hope, hope it comes out alright. So I'm going to use this house, the one right next to the player's home. It seemed like a good choice since it's in the middle of the settlement, right? It's equal distance from the entrance and the marketplace. So if someone comes back from scavenging the wasteland all beat to shit, they would have to travel the same distance as someone who, let's say, was grabbing a drink in the marketplace and said the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time, which has definitely not happened to me in a while. So yeah, this is the house. Don't get too attached because I do scrap the whole thing. Well, speaking of which, there it is, all rebuilt with the mod pre-war and post-war Sanctuary house kit, the same way that I've done the others, which I'm not going to talk about very much in this video since I've done it before. So if you want to see how this part is done, check out the video of my Sheriff's Office build in the description. Now, I'm completely aware that half the roof is missing. I'm not losing my mind entirely. That's where I'm going to build in just a second, but to go over this part, I tried to make this house look very similar to the house that was already here. I made a few changes, but overall it's the same setup. So I used 3 floor pieces across and 4 wide. And for the carport, I used 3 blank foundations, which you can get from a few different mods. So essentially, I scrapped and rebuilt everything except for the driveway. Oh, and I got this door frame from Snappy House Kit. I thought it would look cool to have a larger entrance for the emergency room, just in case they ever get vehicles working again. I mean, they have a damn armored airship flying around, so you think it would be a possibility. I really just want a motorcycle to ride around in, but anyways, I expanded this room by these half floor pieces. I needed it to be a little bit bigger since it's going to be the main operation room. But everything else is the same as the other houses I've built before. Alright, so that's the setup. Let's get to work. So I'm going to use the stairs that we get from the mod G2M Workshop. You can use any kind of stairs though, I just really like the way these look. And I do an alternative version of these stairs in my hotel build if you want to check that out. The link will be in the description. So this part is fairly easy. I'm just placing down upper floor pieces and then walls from Snappy House Kit. This structure is basically going to look like a square on top of the house, but towards the end of the video, I'm going to go over all the little details that help make it stand out a little more. I did slow the video down a bit compared to what I usually do, hoping to make these parts easier to follow, because you don't have to use the exact same floor pieces that I am. You just want to make sure that you're using the same size. So if you're trying to replicate this, just pay attention to where I use half floor pieces. They come in handy when we go to place down the walls. Alright, so since this part is easy, I'll take a second to go over the idea I had for this build. So I was planning on doing some kind of hospital when I first started mapping out how I wanted Sanctuary to look. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I picture hospitals, I think of a very large building that's kind of boxy, with a bunch of floors that have individual rooms, and of course a lobby and waiting area and all that. But the more I played around with that idea, I realized that it wouldn't fit in with what I'm going for here. It would be just too big and wouldn't really make a lot of sense in the wasteland. So I dumbed that idea down a little bit and made it more apocalypse friendly. Yeah, like I'm gonna have one big room for all the patients and one slightly smaller room for those in recovery and have family visiting, instead of individual rooms for everyone, because let's be honest, they wouldn't really have those luxuries. And for the upstairs, like I'm doing now, this is where the offices for the doctors are going to be, so they can do consultations and stuff like that. But I'm also going to build small condos up here, because that's how Diamond City is set up. The shop owner's house is usually connected or right next to the shop, and I really like how they did that. Alright, so check out this part. This is where I used half floors, and I did that so these walls would snap in like this. I'm splitting these rooms in the middle, right? So one side is the office and the other side is the condo, and it just so happens that the middle of the room also meant the middle of the floor, which the wall is not going to snap into the middle of the floor. Makes sense. So that's why I used half floors right there. But you know, once the walls are up, you can change it back to normal size if you wanted to. You know, it's your world. I'm just helping you build it. It was kind of hard to see me put the roof up because of all the walls, but I just used the roofs from the Sanctuary House Kit mod. It's the same as the ones on the house, only I used slanted corner pieces to help take away from the boxiness. And I think it looks pretty cool. I wanted to use the same roofs to make it look like they removed the roof from the house, fixed it up, and put it on top of the second story. To close in the staircase that was sticking out, I just built these wood walls around it, and I'm going to use these cross beams that we get from Workshop Rearranged to fill in that gap. Now, for the front part, I'm going to switch over to the warehouse tab and place in these posts to make the upper floor more stable and not look so weird just hanging off like that. And see, I really like the way this looks because I wanted it to be kind of square-ish to resemble the way that I picture hospitals, but not too bland. And I think that the overhang really helps out with that. If I would have had the upper floor flush with the house below, it would have been a weird transition in textures and not have as much depth. But that's pretty much it that I wanted to show you. Like I said, it's a pretty easy build. I changed the color of the walls by using the wallpapers from Snappy House Kit. I was going to make the walls red, but it was just too much and they clashed with the blue walls of the sanctuary house. So I made them white and used the red roof trim at the bottom to give it that red and white clinic kind of look. But yeah, thanks for watching up to this point. Now stick around for the tour. Alright, thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think, and if you have any questions, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Check out this next video, which YouTube suggested solely for you, which is pretty cool. And if you enjoyed this build, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.